Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum. Did you ever tell yourself, I don't want to ever come up and give a speech. I'm not going to be a speaker, therefore there really is no point for me to come up. If you ever said that, you are completely wrong. When you grow up, whether you like it or you don't, you're going to have to be a speaker. If you still tell yourself, no, I don't have to because the job I'm getting doesn't include being a speaker, well, sorry to say, but you're completely wrong. And if you keep telling yourself, I'm still not going to be a speaker, you're going to stay wrong. Let me give you an example of where in life you should know how to be a speaker. If you're a manager, you must know how to talk to your employees and how to explain your product to others. If you're an employee, you have to know how to explain to your customers. If you're an employee, you have to know how to explain to your customers. Not to mention, if you ever want to have a raise, you have to know how to convince your boss. So watch out, brother Dewan. You never know what to expect from your employees. If you're a basketball player, they put you in an interview, you're going to have to know what to say. If you're a doctor, you must know how to talk to your patients. I can go on and on and on, but I'm sure by now you got the point. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think you must take speech classes in college? Obviously, so you can be prepared for whatever you want to study. They know you need to know how to speak when you grow up. Speech is needed in many ways, in convincing, explaining, and proving to people. My favorite one out of all of these is the convincing part, because you want to know how to be the trickster for this one. Let me give you an example. Once upon a time, there was a king who loves his horse way too much. So one day he was going to execute 3 men for a crime. One of them was being the trickster though. He asked the guard to let him speak to the king. All the guards did was ignore him. But after hours of nagging, he finally brought the king. So the king said, "What do you want?" The guy said, "Your Honor, I know how much you love your horse and how you want to have a special and the best one. I can make your horse fly, sir, if you give me 6 months to train him." The king said, "What do I got to lose? I might execute him anyways." So he said, "Okay, you start tomorrow." When the king left, the other 2 men told the trickster, "Are you crazy? It's impossible to make a horse fly." So the trickster said, "Guys, be optimistic. In 6 months, the king could die. In 6 months, the horse dies. In 6 months, you never know, maybe the horse will actually fly." The main point I'm getting to you is, in a situation like that, knowing how to speak saved his life. In almost any situation, you must know how to speak. So to be a speaker, you have to learn how to become one by practicing. So when Sheikh Hassan tells you to come and speak, he isn't trying to embarrass you. He's trying to build your future, and you're way too scared to come up here. By the way, all the prophets were excellent speakers. They would go up to total strangers spreading Islam. Maybe that's why your wonderful speakers from Mr. Richland College went up to total strangers and spoke about Islam. You think that was easy? No, but they did it because they practiced. Most of you are too scared to give a word in front of your friends, your brothers and your sisters. Come up and be a man, well, the woman too, and build your future. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you a horse that can fly. Make dua. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Yeah, make dua, inshallah, you'll get a horse that flies. Where is Ibrahim? Can you fly, Ibrahim? The other Ibrahim, tall Ibrahim. You're Ibrahim, right? MashaAllah. Tafadhal ya Shaykh.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah, we have all these great role models and companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, such as Uthman ibn Affan or Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. But the question is, what do all of these great Sahabi do to get such great status? They compete to do good. For example, Abu Bakr will be rushing to give the highest amount of money possible. I can't stress this enough, how people back then would give crazy amounts of money and we just drop tiny bits of change. Is it so hard to at least drop $1 in the box? You wouldn't be overjoyed if I gave you a rusty old penny, would you? So why do that to people who are in need? It's because you don't have the motivation. When you see someone drop $1, don't drop your quarter like an old lady. Drop 2. Sure, you may not give the greatest amount when others get involved, but guess what?
You get the hasanah for each person after who's motivated. It doesn't have to be the money you're competing with either. You can compete with simply holding doors for people or work for others. The list goes on. Uthman ibn Affan would give hundreds of armed camels in times for the Muslims in times of war. The point is, it isn't so hard to compete for simple good deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Mutaffifin,
وفي ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون.
So for this, let the competitors compete. So now we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to compete for good and not for things of this world. I leave you to ponder upon a short hadith narrated by Sahih al-Bukhari. The Prophet ﷺ said, "By Allah, I am not afraid that those after me will worship those besides Allah, but I am worried that those after me will compete for things of this world." I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes it easier for us to do good. I also pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He protects us from being of those who compete for this world only, as the Prophet ﷺ said. With that, everything I said right was from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and everything I said wrong was from the shaitan. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.
Takbir! Allahu Akbar! MashaAllah! MashaAllah! This is unplanned in any way. I took the paper, not give it to him. And that was a risk I took to build character. And I wanted to see how he reacts and what he does and how he does it. MashaAllah, you did wonderful. Wallahi, if I have the speech and you took it, I probably won't do as good as you did.